On this episode of Carnage, we are going to send it with the Lexcen. Since the last episode of Carnage, I have been a little bit busy and taken the front of the car apart to take the intake pipe off because the bar has to come off for the pipe to come out. But yeah, I've had the pipe modified with a bung so we can put an air temp sensor in there, and that way we'll be able to hopefully get a truer reading of the inlet air temp and not where it is now, where it is buried in the alloy and just getting massively heat soaked, which is not doing it any favors at all. So the plan is to reintroduce the pipe to the car, modify the rear quarters, the rear guards to put drag radials on it. Not that it'll need it today, but yeah, we're going to do those cuts on the lips of the guards, and then we're going to take it down the dyno at Maxx Performance and run her up and maybe even tip in a little extra boost. That could be exciting. It could go either way. I know a lot of you were unhappy with the fact that I elected to send it and not pull it down and make it all right again, but I figure it is the only car that we have running in this workshop at the moment. Let's not pull it apart right now. Let's yeah, have some fun with it. Hopefully it survives its dyno exercise, but I guess we'll see. And hopefully we'll make a little bit extra power and it will go even faster. We can only hope. So I went down and grabbed a bung for a 1/8 MPT fitting. Had Ben at Top G Fab welded on for me. If you're looking for anyone in Southeast Melbourne to do some quick fab jobs, Ben is your man. He's done a lot of jobs for us. He did all the piping and stuff on the Lexcen, and he is a quality fabricator. So look him up. Anyway, we're going to slide this in, hook it up, and our sensor will go in the back of the pipe. It should sit in the car, something like that. So I know from experience, the best way to do this is do the bottom pipe first. I've said it many times. These boost clamps are awesome. I did buy a new sensor to replace this slightly wonky one, but do you think I can find it? No. Workshop things. So I got a new replacement plate here from Venom Automotive via Golby's. Oh, it's so pretty, polished and everything. The new plate even comes with shiny stainless Allen keys, so I'm going to remove those couple of old studs with our little stud remover. These are available from any parts store, pretty cheap and easy. Alright, so it's going to want to come that way, so let's go that way. Alright baby, be kind to me. So I made sure when I made this lead that it was long enough to reach both sides, because I knew this might happen sometime. And there we are. She's in. So, car should fire up and run, no problems. Let's do that. I'm going to turn it around so I can work on the rear end up this end. Well, I can report that the intake sensor seems to be doing its job, because it's only reading a couple degrees above ambient, which normally after running and warming up and that sort of thing, it would be in the 20s or 30s. So it's doing its job. All right, big jack. As usual, we're going to put jack stands under the car. I don't think we can stress that quite enough. If you're working on the car, it's got to be, it's jacked up, put jack stands under the car. I heard through a friend the other day that a young guy passed away when a car fell on him off the jack. It shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen, guys. Don't do it. Don't take the risk. Jack stands under the car, always. So we've got quite a lip under there. Now, a few people said, oh yeah, do the old baseball trick or whatever, but I think they will just pump out the rear quarter and we'll have this very flat looking quarter then being quite bulged. No one wants that. So I will just slide up there with a angle grinder very carefully and just remove most of the lip. Do a test. I mean, it's close. It was always going to be close, but I can get my fingers in there and it's not cutting my fingers, and that's sitting on the axle. So I think this is going to work. It's a little bit closer on this side, but clears the guard. What more do you want? All right, let's drop it down. It's close, but it fits. Oh. side slightly closer, but again, there's separation. All right, let's take it for a drive. See how bad it scrubs when you go around a corner or anything like that, but to be honest, it's mainly for a straight line, so. Let's yeah, take it for a run up and down the street at low speed. Works fine. So that works perfectly. Doesn't scrub at all. Powered down the street. I was waiting for it to wheel spin. Then it just hooked and went. I'm like, okay, that's right, drag radials. Yeah, man, this thing is fast. And that was, again, low boost. So yeah, glad the brakes work. Everything seems to work. So tomorrow she goes on the dyno. And here we are back at Maxx Performance with the Lexcen. The Lexcen has only been on the dyno here once before. Remember back late last year when we were getting it ready for Summernats, we put it on the dyno. We had no idea what this thing was going to make. We thought if it made 400 horsepower at the tyres, that would be pretty good and we could take it to Summernats with this. Well, it made 624 horsepower on the dyno here at Maxx Performance on its very first outing. So we were pretty stoked. And then we went to Summernats, different dyno, different day, different elevation, all that sort of stuff. And it made 712 horsepower at Summernats. Now, we don't really compare dynos because, you know, different locations, atmospheres, all that sort of stuff, it all comes into play. So we're gonna go with a 624 figure. That's our benchmark. Let's run it up first and see if it matches that. If it's significantly down on that, then we know we've got an issue and we really need to pull it down. If it matches that figure or thereabouts, then we know maybe we can play with this a little bit more and maybe put a couple more pounds into it and send it a little bit harder. Well, hopefully. But anyway, this is going to be one of those all care, no responsibility things because, you know, Zane, as good as he is, I mean, we're actually playing with something that could be potentially explosive. So we'll see how we go. It could be all good, it could be all bad, but we're going to find out right now. So I just had an epiphany. A lot of people keep asking, you know, what's this car make at 16 pounds? What's it make at 20 pounds? What's it make at 24? Well, 24 has always been the figure that we've been dealing with, but I'm kind of curious myself, you know, what does it make at 16 pounds a boost? What does it make at 20 pounds a boost? So I'm going to get Zane to run it up at 16, 20, and then 24, and then we go full send. That's low boost. It's a 384 kilowatt, 515 at the rear wheels on 15, 16 pounds of boost. 600 horsepower at the tyres, 450 kilowatts, let's say, and what, about 20 pounds, and he's awesome. Intake temp's pretty good.
Yeah. Coolant got real high.
Well, that's about what we expect. I don't know what was happening down low. Zane might be pulling boost early on in the run, but certainly it's up there in the top end and it makes the power. Like, how hurt can this thing be? I've just realised I've left the air filter on. Let's take it off. So on this run we're going to do the same boost, but no filter, see what it does. That's a new record on this dyno. So yeah, 645 horsepower at the wheels, which is a new record for this dyno, so that's not bad. So how much can we actually get out of it? Okay, maybe not. Oh wow, that's gone quite high, hasn't it?
113.
Yeah, okay. 115.
It just creeps up when you get off it.
Okay, so because we've done a few runs back to back, what's happened there is the engine temps actually got quite high and it's pulled timing in the top end. That's why it didn't make as much power. So we're going to let it cool down for a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe it's saying that's enough, I don't know. We're going to let it cool down a bit, I think, for a little bit. So we'll shut it off, let it cool down, and then me and Zane will have a talk about it and see if we go any further. Yeah, try again. Alright, we'll just let it cool down. And
That is a better climb now, it's not so lazy.
yeah. So what we're going to do right now is we're letting the car just sit there with the dyno fan on, letting it cool right down. So then what we're going to do is Zane wants to put 1 more pound in the top end, see what that does. If it doesn't respond, we'll just go, yep, that is what it is. We might be running into the limitations of that manifold top, all right? So you've seen the Skid Factory videos, you've seen the Nugget Garage videos where those guys, like the Hoff has made good power with a stock top end, but even he is now creating a new top end to support more power. And then obviously Al from Skid Factory has done his conversion with the Holly high ram. We can't use that unfortunately because it's too high for our engine bay, but that's their ways of getting around this problem. Is this the problem? It could be, we'll see. It's a new record. Wow. Wow. That's pretty good. That's really good. Stoked with that. I'm not sure if Zane is going to want to push to 500 kilowatts or not, but I'm pretty happy with that.
So that's, yeah, like 25 and a half. That's a fairly savage power curve compared to what you had.
Yeah. So do you want to leave it there, or you want to push for 500 kilowatt?
Oh, I reckon you should go for 500 like a fucking man, but it's up to you.
So close. So close. That's done. Yeah. And just like that, for this car, for this dyno, that is a new record. So the car is making more power than ever, there is no doubt. It's pushing about 25.5 pounds of boost, so massive thanks to Zane at Maxx Performance. I mean, he is a gun tuner and he's getting the best out of, imagine, you know, a guy like me, I'm a pretty ham-fisted mechanic. I've put this together, I bring it to him and he always makes it run the best that it can, and it's doing awesomely. So it's making great power, and I'm massive thanks to those guys for making this happen. So I guess now we need to take it to the track and find out, is it quicker? It's going to be quicker, there is no doubt. We can put the drag radials on it now, we've got more boost, more power than ever. This thing is going to run fast, but you're going to see that on a future episode of Carnage.